welcome back to the EchoVideo podcast. I'm your host, Hunter Tapley. Joining me as always is Bart. Bart, how have you been this week?
Hey Hunter, glad as always to be here. It's been a pretty good week. A rather uneventful week for me. I had some job interviews, nothing crazy. It was a pretty boring week for me. I'm not gonna lie, just a lot of work. So hopefully you have something more interesting.
Yeah, it's been a pretty slow week for me too. Not a lot happening at work. I mean, I guess the biggest thing that's happened is the Mario movie trailer has just been announced. And I know we both have just watched it. I watched it a little bit earlier than you did. What do you think? There's been a lot of before that. There's been a lot of kind of interesting opinions roaming around on the internet, like the cast especially, and what the movie's going to look like. But now we have our kind of first. We had the poster, and now we got a full look. We don't have a full view of the whole cast. Like we haven't seen Donkey Kong. I think Yoshi was announced in it. We haven't seen. There's a lot of characters announced, so we haven't seen all of them. But from what you saw in that teaser, what do you think? What's your overall opinions?
Oh man. Okay. Well, from seeing the poster yesterday, I didn't realize this before. I'm a little bit disappointed that Illumination's doing it. Just because I don't know, their animation's not quite as nice. It's a lot more of, pushing, I don't know, sellable stuff. That's another thing that went through my head. A lot of merch is going to come out of that, definitely. As an actual movie, it looks fine. I think I'm gonna the wrong audience here because I'm not as invested in Mario as anyone else is. I haven't played Mario since the fucking Wii, really. So it looks fun.
That's
It
fair.
looks fine, Hunter. I think you're more
Yeah,
passionate on this than I am.
I honestly I think it looks great. When I heard the cast, there was all this like, oh my god, Chris Pratt is Mario. Like there was all this shit. I remember thinking myself like the cast seemed a little goofy, but I mean the two big goofiest members in my opinion are Jack Black, Chris Pratt, and Seth Rogen. Those were the
Hmm.
biggest kind of oddballs. I thought everybody else looked like I think Charlie Day as Luigi is in my opinion like pretty perfect casting. Like, and Chris Pratt, I mean, he's a really, really talented voice actor. Like in the Lego movie, like I love him in the Lego movie. I think that's like perfect. So I think if he brings that same energy to the character that he did to the Lego movie, I think it'll be perfect. Like I think he'll be pretty decent. And I mean, Mario for the most part is a pretty silent protagonist. Like he has like
Hmm.
three catchphrases that he says throughout the entirety of the games. So I really think it looked good. I thought Jack Black as Bowser, I thought it was going to be more odd than I heard, but from what I heard from the trailer, it looked pretty cool, like with the ship showing up, and I thought it looked great.
Yeah.
I'm actually, honestly, I can wholeheartedly say for the first time in like 3 years, I am excited for something to come out. It's been a very long time since I've ever felt excitement. So I'm excited for this movie to come out. I'll say that.
All right. Well, then don't let me shit on your parade. I'll happily go watch it with you if we get the chance. It'll be interesting to see how Chris Pratt is like. You just said about that much dialogue, like just emoting that much through the character with all the
Yeah.
sounds and whatnot. Should be interesting to see.
Yeah. The other thing, dude, I don't know if this is something I've noticed. A lot of the females that I know in my life all hate it. I do not know why. I've talked with a lot of my male friends, and they've all kind of been like, "Oh, it'd be interesting to see what they do." Like a lot of them were more skeptical. Some of them were kind of more for it, but all of the girls that I know just immediately hate it and trash on it. And I'm just like, why is this? What is going on? What did the movie do to you? It's not even out. It was just the cast and you're just saying it's awful.
What
Like,
could possibly be upsetting anyone?
come on,
Like, I don't think outright there's anything that's like,
dude.
I don't know.
I think I really don't know, dude. I really don't know. And it's like it was kind of getting me angry. Like I sent the trailer to some friends and immediately they're just like trashing it. So,
Hmm.
in all honesty, I think it looks great. I'm genuinely excited for it, and I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Right
And
on.
hopefully, I get to go to the theater because I haven't been to the theater since Dune.
We'll have to go to the theater when you come here. When's it coming out this year?
April 7th, I believe.
April 7th. Okay. Well, there you
I
go.
believe. So, yeah, I'm excited for it. So, anything you saw last week that you'd recommend?
What have I been watching? So this I've kind of written a little bit on it. It's not something I watched, but it's something that just kind of came up for me. I don't know what I was doing. I think I was just on a Reddit one night, just kind of going in the pages, whatnot. But do you remember the Diary of the Wimpy Kid movies?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the actor, um, Ryan.
Greg,
Hold on, one moment. Ryan
is he like Greg
Grantham.
Heffley?
Okay, okay. I think it's Rodney that he plays. He's like a no-name character, so it really doesn't matter.
Oh,
All
so he's
right.
not even like a main cast member.
No, he's not even a make. He's barely made the credits apparently.
Oh
He
my
plays
god.
the guy who plays the tree in the Wizard of Oz production. So that's kind of where we're at with this guy. But anyway, Ryan Grantham is currently the ripe age of 24, and he just pled guilty to committing second-degree murder because he murdered his mom. And then this, I was like, whoa, what? So I kind of looked into it, and it turns out that it was discovered after he turned himself in after killing his mom because he was en route to Justin Trudeau's home to kill him with 3 guns and 12 Molotov cocktails. But he
Yeah, he
changed his
missed
mind
out.
and turned himself in.
God damn it. We were so
And we
close.
were so fucking close, son of a bitch.
Every Canadian just sighed immensely sighed when that happened. I'm probably going to get arrested after this is released.
Yeah, well, there goes our fucking monetization. But yeah, man. So the Vancouver Police Headquarters, they gathered evidence, and then it was shown in the BC court where he was trialed, and there were like, audition tapes of him like practicing killing his mom, and then actual like videos of him with his mom's corpse,
Oh
and he's like now
my
super
god.
remorseful and whatnot. So yeah, I don't know. I just saw that come by. It's like, wait, what the fuck?
That's
Diary Wimpy
that's
Kid
pretty
murders his mom.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid, the last straw.
The last straw. Holy shit. Florida Project. Jeez.
That's crazy. Well,
Yeah.
my what I would recommend from last week is Grounded again.
We're back at it.
Moving aside from the horrific murder case, um, where do we go from there?
Good transition.
Um, no,
Yeah,
I would
nobody
recommend
knows.
Grounded again. I've been really enjoying it, and it's been a ton of fun to play. The other thing, I saw the movie Sallow, 120 Days of Sodom.
Nice. Pleasurable
Um,
week.
I've I've really heard like that film was super like, oh, you have to watch it, like it's like the most controversial. I have to say, much like The Room, like people were like, The Room is so bad it's good, watch The Room. I was kind of just waiting for the controversial scenes, and I wasn't really invested in the story. Like I was just kind of sitting there, okay, I know what's the next scene? Okay, I'm waiting for that scene. Okay, what's the next? Okay, I'm going to wait for that scene. Like I wasn't really invested. I got to rewatch it again. The one thing I wrote down, long and gross, cuz
Long and gross. Well, there you
the
go.
poopy the they eat poop in it, and
Oh,
that got a reaction out of me. I was like viscerally gagging. I was like, "Oh,
oh man, I had that with Mad God when the fucking poop was going down the
yeah.
chutes into the mouths. I was gagging the
Yeah,
whole time, man.
that was fucking gross."
Does it have a A for adult rating? Or is it still R?
I thought it was X,
Oh
but
yeah,
maybe
okay,
it's
yeah,
R.
X. Shit, I don't know, man. I wonder.
Um, you know that movie Blonde? You know that Marilyn Monroe movie Blonde is rated NC-17.
Yeah, I
Isn't that
saw
fucking
that.
crazy?
Apparently, there's like really vivid depiction, not depictions, but like moments like the abortion and sexual assault, and it's all like very
Oh
explicitly
yeah.
laid out on screen, which is
I do want to.
yikes.
I did want to check it out only because of the NC-17, because I don't think
Yeah,
like it's rare when
that
a
is
movie
very
gets that
rare.
rating.
I know that you get
And
like full frontal nudity from Anna de Mars. Um,
mm,
so that might have done it. But yeah, it's weird because I thought that was going to be a huge Oscar contender, and if you look at the reviews, it's getting like 30s. It's getting absolutely bombed.
yeah, but that's
I
like,
think it's for the
is that
controversial
it?
scenes.
Do you think
Yeah.
that's like you can't trust reviewers anymore, dude? Do you think that's because the movie's actually bad, or do you think because people saw that it was controversial, got offended, and went, "Well, I'm going to review it poorly"?
Yeah. Well, that's why Dahmer is getting review bombed right now
Yeah,
too.
like Dahmer is like I think IMDb 8.4, and then Rotten Tomatoes was like 40, and I was like what's going on? Like this is why I hate reviews, man. Whenever I see a movie I want to see. I do not look it up because I just know the reviews will spoil it.
Dahmer, I kind of get where some of it's coming from because it's like supposed to be telling the story of the victims, but a lot of the victims weren't actually consulted, and they had to find out through the trailer of Netflix that it was even
Yeah,
happening.
how are they going to consult the victims?
Well, not the
They're going to go get
okay, like
a
the victims
Ouija
just
board?
fucking grave digging, see if you can find any diaries. No,
No, I know
yeah,
what you mean. I know what you mean, but like the victims' families, they didn't
yeah,
want to. I don't know, dude. I do get their complaints. What pisses me off is all the fucking people that decide, "Oh, I'm going to be offended on their behalf." That
mm,
fucking pisses me off. Like I get the victims and their families and all the people like that were closely related to this case, by all means. But if you're fucking some loser nobody who is just getting offended because they read a reason to be offended, like fuck off.
mm.
That shit pisses me off. Like that's one of my like that. I don't even want to get started because I'm gonna fucking
Oh,
rant
fair,
on about it. But
fair. At least those things shouldn't be put in the review, or at least they should be, but not to the
it
extent where it's review
ex-
bomb to where
yeah,
it just being an arbitrary number at that point.
I I agree. And like the show's got trigger warnings and everything all over it. Like when I started it, it's like do not watch if you're easily offended, and I
Yeah,
was like,
like heavy
okay,
depictions of like
like
violence. Yeah, yeah. No, you're right.
yeah. All right, moving on from that.
From one monster to a monster.
Again, another. Today's conversation, the Munsters, Rob
Yeah,
Zombie's The Munsters, 2022.
we're trying
Before
to
we
keep it
start,
light here with the PG
before
rating.
before we start, I got to tell a story because I watched this the same weekend I watched The Black Phone, and
Okay.
if we did that review, if we did The Munsters before we did The Black Phone, this may have been a different review. I watched that movie, and it was a mixture of me being in a bad mood, of the circumstances I was in, and I just did not like this movie. I was like, this movie fucking sucks. It's so boring. I would have torn this movie apart if we reviewed it when I first saw it. And then I kind of went home, went through the week. Then this weekend, like last weekend, after we recorded The Black Phone, I watched a movie called My Best Friend's Exorcism. And that's a really good book by Grady Hendrix. Highly, highly recommend the book. If you're able to get it, read it. Really good book. And I was really excited for this movie because I hadn't even heard of it. I saw the trailer on Amazon and I was like, oh man, I gotta watch this. That was awful. Biggest
Oh
disappointment
my
ever.
goodness.
I'm not gonna get too deep into it. Not a good movie. Don't watch it. Not worth your time.
Yikes.
And then I watched another movie and it was I did not want to watch this movie. Not that I hated it, but I was kind of dragged to see it. Was the movie Bros, the new romantic
Oh yeah.
comedy Bros?
How's that?
Not good.
Oh no.
It was really awkward, and I think I was the only person in that theater. There was like two other people in the theater.
Yikes.
No, it wasn't good. I didn't enjoy it. I mean, maybe other people will. I didn't enjoy it. And then I was like, okay, I better rewatch The Munsters. I didn't really want to rewatch it. And then I watched it and I was like, the second viewing, I was like, you know what? This isn't bad.
It's not
It's
so
not
bad
my
after
best
all.
friend's. It's not my best friend's exorcism. It's not Bros. It's a good movie. I enjoyed it. I'm going to say that I enjoyed this movie, and I know that it's getting a ton of shit from critics and everyone's reviewing it really poorly. But for me at EchoVideo, I'm giving it a positive review. I think it was good. It has its flaws. Don't get me wrong. We'll get
EchoVideo
into those.
certified.
I enjoyed my time with this movie because I guess I just went through so much shit and misery that I enjoyed it on the second
Hey,
viewing.
you came
and
out
I
a
honestly
stronger
had a
man.
fun time.
There you go.
Bart, what did you think of the
Oh
movie?
jeez. quickly on the bros thing. I know that's directed by the same people who did Train Spotting, not Train Spotting. The fuck's it? Amy Schumer with Bill Trainwreck, Trainwrecks. Fucking hate that movie. Very fiber of my being. So I don't know if I'm gonna watch Bros.
Seriously.
But that's a whole digression. We don't have to go down that. My thoughts on the film. Honestly, I kind of had fun with it. I was in a fun little Halloween kind of mood. I just watched The Addams Family, so this was like the perfect next step. I hadn't seen the Munsters, like the original TV show, which I feel like whether or not you've watched that would really dictate whether or not you like this movie. As with most things, if you watch the original, you're gonna hold it up to that standard. But I didn't have that nostalgia, so for me, it was fun, and it was an interesting change of pace from what we've watched here so far. Um, I really liked the lighting. It was fun. It was colorful. The costumes were like wacky and corny and cheap, but it just really fit the vibe, and the atmosphere was actually really nicely done. Um, the character Dracula was my favorite character. I liked his little blurbs and
Yeah.
whatnot, his little improvisations.
Um,
Oh,
Lily's
Daniel
dad, right?
Roblox.
Lily's
Yeah,
dad.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I really love the set design and the lighting and the atmosphere of the movie.
Hmm.
Like that just felt so much like Halloween. Like it felt like you go into a spirit Halloween. That's what the atmosphere of
Exactly.
that movie was.
And it was exactly what it needed.
And exact, dude. It was like when I just thought when I got it, I just got the perfect Halloween vibes from it. I thought the cast was great. Sherry Moon Zombie as Lily. What's the other guy? Daniel Roebuck. And is that, yeah, okay. I thought they were all. I mean, I love the original Munsters. Don't get me wrong, and I actually do like Rob Zombie. I think some of his other movies, like House of a Thousand Corpses, I enjoy. Three from Hell, I enjoy. Devil's Rejects, I really liked. He has some others. So, like, two properties that I really liked came together. Didn't make a perfect, like a perfect end product, but something that I can honestly say I enjoyed. I really and like the cast. I mean, you're never gonna beat the original Munsters cast. Al Lewis as Grandpa. They call him Grandpa in the TV show, so that kind of bothered me why they didn't call him Grandpa in the yeah, Al Lewis as Grandpa. Who was the Fred Gwynn as Herman Munster, which is like Fred Gwynn is perfect in the Munsters. It's probably one of my favorite TV roles of all time. And I'm blanking on the original actor for Lily. I think it's Yvonne something. What is it? It is Yvonne DiCarlo as Lily. She's really good too. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. There's a couple of downfalls. I think the main downfall of this film, there's way too much subplot with the fucking werewolf buying a
That
casino.
whole
There's
shit should have been
fucking
cut.
people building Herman. I think Rob Zombie was a little too ambitious with the prequel. I honestly think if you made this movie as just like another like an hour long Munsters episode, like he just took all the characters, because there's no Eddie. They have a son, like a werewolf son named Eddie. He's not in it. And I don't believe they have the niece, Marilyn. The niece Marilyn isn't in it at all. It's just three, Herman, Grandpa, and Lily, which is, that was kind of disappointing. I would have liked to see more of like a family comedy with all the characters from the show kind of brought together. Maybe put them in modern day society or something. I think there could have been a lot to work with. But it just was kind of awkward. The prequel, the beginning half of the film, I found kind of dragged on a bit. Like we have Lily going on dates. I did find her going on a date with Count Orlok to be
I
very
like the
entertaining.
dates. Yeah, fucking
I
reminded me
found
of
that.
Peter, man. What we do in the
Yeah,
shadows.
Peter
I
from
was like,
What We
holy
Do in the
shit, it's Peter.
Shadows. Well, Orlok's the name of Count Orlok's the name of Nosferatu, from the vampire from Nosferatu. I know. And then, dude, later he's like talking about his pet rats, and he has
Yeah.
all the pictures
Did you
on the
catch the
newspaper.
newspaper? Did you catch?
Yeah,
Yeah, eaten alive by rats.
Orlok eaten by rats, dude. I thought that was fucking funny.
That
There
was
was
really
some,
funny.
and then I think like the movie honestly really starts when Herman is made.
Mm,
Like Herman doesn't fucking show up till like 20 minutes into the movie,
yeah.
if I'm remembering. It's crazy.
The whole Dr. Wolfgang, even him making, as soon as he
Dude,
makes Herman, gone, forgotten until the last shot of the film. He's like,
well,
oh, he's your
in
problem now.
dude, that fucking opening with yeah, like with the fucking making of Herman was garbage. Like
It was
that was
so
the
slow.
it was so slow, it was so boring,
Also,
and
wasn't that the whole brain swapping by accident? Wasn't that directly from Gene Wilder, like young Dr. Frankenstein? Where they,
it's from the original
oh, that's same,
Frankenstein
same.
too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, cuz like I think they in the movie they go to take a healthy brain but they take the brain of a murderer or something, or an unhealthy
Yeah,
brain. It's something like that.
yeah.
But no, I honestly thought like that part could have been cut, or at least cut down. Like it was just so boring. And then like I always got the impression that Herman, cuz in the show Herman does make really corny jokes and he laughs like that. Like the guy that played Herman Munster, I think did a pretty faithful job. Like he's no Fred Gwynn obviously, but I think he did a very faithful job to the original character. And like, but I always came under the impression that he was supposed to be like a dorky dad, like he makes the corny dad jokes and laughs, like he gives himself the biggest laugh. Like I always got that impression when watching the show, because the Munsters was always like this kooky family of monsters, but they acted like a normal family in like a civilized way, and it was kind of how society acted to them, like reacted to them, kind of, which I thought was like the kind of the charm and what made the Munsters so enjoyable, in my opinion. And in this and in the movie, you lose that a bit, which is a bit disappointing in my opinion.
Mm. Yeah, that they're a bit more Adam's Family, aren't they? Where they really seek out the spooky things and love the Halloween stuff.
Yeah, in this iteration, yeah, I thought I found a little more Adam's Family.
Hmm. Yeah, what you said about the whole Wolfie thing, Leslie the Wolf, that whole thing, and then
Dude,
Dracula's ex-wife, that could have been gone. And like, cause it also, I feel like it fucking made me angry with the ending, cause the fuck is it? So he basically, for plot, he forces Herman, or doesn't force, he kind of like swindles him into signing away all of Transylvania, and then they get evicted, and then Wolfie takes all the money he's got and basically gambles it, and that's like 40 minutes into the movie. And like an
yeah,
hour and a half later, or an hour later, he's back, and he's like tripled his money and gives a whole bunch of it to Herman, and that's just how
yeah,
it ends. And I was like, "Are you fucking serious? What?"
yeah.
Because they had all these money issues. I was like, "Oh, how are they gonna get out of this? They're gonna have to work, and everyone's
They
gonna be
really
scared of
did
them."
just kind of
It's like, "Oh, you're
we
gonna steal a
solved
million
it.
dollars." Yeah, it's like, "Oh, okay, done."
Yeah, that part was kind of goofy. I mean, I guess it does explain why a Frankenstein and a vampire have a werewolf kid, because I think that the werewolf's Lily's brother, I believe. But I really loved the costume design in the movie too. Like I found all the outfits to be really fun. Um, the other thing, oh, Sherry Moon Zombie as Lily. Sherry Moon Zombie gets a lot of shit on the internet, and especially in a lot of other reviews that I've heard of Rob Zombie movies. I think it's because Rob Zombie just gives her roles.
He's in every
I'm
single one of his productions,
yeah.
like whether it be music videos or short films or full feature length. He's in every single one. Insane.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And I mean, in all honesty, I didn't mind her in this movie. I thought she did a good job. She really overacted the character to like a charming level. I found like I loved like the reaction shots she gave and just how dramatic she did. I honestly liked it. Like I think of the awkwardness in this movie is part of the charm. I found like I really found that the awkwardness was a little bit of the charm in this movie,
Yeah. No,
which is rare to say the
yeah.
least.
Yeah. Even with Herman like being all that bombastic, loud laughing, it kind of fit. It wasn't annoying, and it didn't really get annoying. It got a little bit annoying towards the end, but then it was fine. Like it wasn't ever an issue, which is impressive to
Yeah.
pull off, I guess. So hats off to him.
Yeah.
I also like that this is unrelated, but they fucking snuck in the Creature of the Black Lagoon and they watched his movie with him.
Dude, he's in the show. He's in the Munsters. It's Uncle
Oh,
Gilbert.
hey, oh shit.
Yeah.
See,
It's
man, I'm
Uncle
missing so
Gilbert
much
in the
lore.
Munsters. That and the robot, the tin can robot, is also in the show too. And you know who's under the costume?
Hmm.
Is the actor that played Eddie Munster in the show. So their kid. Why he's the
Oh.
robot, I don't know. I feel like a better role could have been given to him. But
He
that's the
deserved more
original.
than to not even be
Yeah.
recognizable.
That's the original Eddie Munster in the Munsters. Kind of
Oh, wow.
cool.
That is
Did you
actually
notice
pretty-
Elvira was also in it? She was the real estate dealer that wore the witch
Oh,
makeup.
the witch. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't remember what the actress's name that does Elvira.
She's also an original member from the Munsters.
No, she's not from the Munsters, but I think that was kind of a cool.
Hmm.
Cassandra Peterson.
Cassandra Peters.
She was in it, yeah. I thought that was kind of funny that she was in it.
They were
I honestly. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say there were like so many little, like it was so charming throughout. Some of the jokes, even like all these things, like when they try funeral home at the Dewdrop Inn funeral home, and they try to hire Herman to move the bodies around, and he thinks it's like, oh, some spooky job, so it makes sense, but they're actually just in a funeral home. I don't know, man. Like things like that, they're funny, they're charming throughout. I had a couple of good chuckles at bunch of the stuff.
Like, I feel like for a first time, like, this is a kids movie. Like, they have a PG rating. This is 100% a kids movie. Like, yeah, and it's not like really, really childish. I think it's a pretty good first attempt at like a kids movie, because I know, what was the movie? Eli Roth directed The House with a Clock in Its Walls, and that movie's okay, but it's too much of a kids movie. Like, I think if you're trying to direct a kids movie, the way to ruin it is add fart jokes. And I gotta fucking give Rob Zombie credit. I was expecting fart jokes in this movie. I looked over to my girlfriend who I was watching with, and I said, there's going to be some fart jokes in this. And when I got to the end, I was disappointed because there was no fart jokes. But also, I applaud Rob Zombie for not adding fart jokes in this
See,
movie.
that's how you know the writers have confidence in their writing, where you don't have to pad the time with a fucking fart.
Exactly. Dude.
Damn,
I was shocked when there was none.
Fuck. Whenever I think of like all those stupid gags, I always think back to Grown Ups 2, when the very first opening scene where Adam Sandler's like in the cabin, and I think
Is
it's the
it a
deer
deer?
that comes in. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
the deer's
pisses
pissing on everyone for like
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Yeah, and it's like, holy shit, what the fuck? And that's just, I don't know, man.
It's just like the longest intro to a movie ever.
Yeah, it's like, holy fuck, I thought I was done. It's literally like a whole 10-minute sequence. Oh,
Grown Ups 2 is a fucking is an experience to watch for the first time. I think there's something called like a sneeze burp fart.
oh fuck, I don't even remember that. I honestly think I erased most of that from my memory after watching the first one.
No, that's fair.
Fuck. And
That's
then
fair.
was it David Schwimmer and Beauty?
David Schwimmer.
Is that
I don't think
fucking
it's. I think it's
David
was it
Spade? Fuck is
David
it?
Spade. Yeah,
That's
David
it, not
Spade.
David Schwimmer. Fuck man. They literally just go on vacation, Adam Sandler and his buddies, and then film Grown Ups on the side. I remember though, in fucking grade 8, Joe Dirt was my favorite movie of all time. Like I had posters up on my fucking wall. Like I loved Joe Dirt so much.
I just remember the dog's nuts being frozen to the park.
It's
It's like howling.
get up.
It's so fucking weird.
Oh shit!
Oh man,
Incredible
Joe
film.
Dirt is a fucking. That's a weird ass movie too, man. That's a trip. That movie.
That is a trip. It's a whole bunch of like weird incest jokes too between the hot model and David Spade. It's weird because they look related, and I think they make it like a weird plot point. It comes up, I swear to God. But yeah, man.
Yeah, I can't remember Joe Dirt. I haven't seen it in a long ass
No,
time.
fair enough. I don't think most people remember Joe Dirt.
Back to the Munsters. What do you think? What do you think? And you like better, the Munsters or the Addams Family? I know you didn't watch the
Ooh.
original show, but that's a tough question, especially if you haven't watched the original show.
Yeah, I think for me, It's gonna be the Addams Family, just because I kind of grew up on it. I watched it for the first time with my dad. Just rewatched it, saw some of the TV show, so it's just a lot more present. I like this. It's not bad by any means. It's a really good time, and so if you
Fair.
watch the Addams Family and you want more, go watch the Munsters. I'd say.
Yeah.
What about
Fair
you?
enough. I gotta say the Munsters are better, man. I like
Wow.
the American family value of the Munsters as opposed to the assholeian Adams family.
The
And
Italians.
dude, Lily Munster is so much hotter than Morticia
It's
Adams.
true.
She's got in the
True.
original depiction of Morticia Adams, the actress. I'm sure she's a very lovely lady, but she's got the fucking forehead of a drive-in movie theater.
Holy
It's
fuck.
fucking insane.
I didn't think you were gonna
You
take
could
that
land
in.
you could land a plane on that bitch. It's fucking crazy.
Holy shit.
Although
What happened to
Although
Morticia?
Angelica Houston though is a very great actress.
Mm, mm. You got the Wednesday TV show coming up now too, with the Tim Burton one. It's coming out, I think, later
We
this month.
gotta we gotta make we gotta make Tim Burton great again. I got a lot of shit in film school for liking Tim Burton. Like I remember there was this whole debate if Tim Burton, like everyone was just bashing Tim Burton, and I was like, guys, Batman is great. Edward Scissorhands is great.
He's
The
just had
Corpse Bride is a
the most
great
recent
movie.
ones.
He's had a Disney-fied life. Get
Yeah,
him the fuck away from Disney. Let's fucking have a good ass Tim Burton movie, man. We gotta make Tim Burton great again. That's
make Tim
the
Burton
fucking
great again.
petition right here.
He
Fucking
needs.
Beetlejuice is a classic.
He,
Halloween classic Beetlejuice.
we're gonna get a
The
Disney
fuck?
Beetlejuice too, and I'm gonna be very upset about it. Um,
Dude,
but yeah, man,
I think
that whole Disney-fying of cool directors. So Barry Jenkins, I fucking love Moonlight, and I liked If Beale Street Could Talk. Do you know what his next movie is? It's the
Black
fucking Lion
Panther.
King 2.
Boo.
Boo! I'm so upset about that, man. The live-action Lion King 2. How could you scoop so low?
The
Ugh.
Underground Railroad. He made that show. Yeah, Barry Jenkins. Yeah, no, he's a great
Yeah,
filmmaker.
which is he's
Sorry,
like
I was just
huge in the
I just,
upbringings. No, it's all
I
good.
just realized who he was.
It's
No,
all good.
he's made some really great films.
Uh,
And now they're fucking Disneyfying him, man. We gotta get Disney away from great filmmakers. When
yeah.
Denis Villeneuve directs a Disney movie, I will personally shotgun my head on
Oh,
stream
Kurt
live because
Cobain
that will
yourself.
be the ruining of a great filmmaker.
Go to the end of Hunter and just love for film on the spot.
Denis Villeneuve's. They tried to get him for Star Wars. I remember this because
Mm.
I told this to my friend who's a huge Star Wars fan, and he got mad at me. And I was like, bro, I'm not fucking Denis Villeneuve. He did it. He said that Dune was more important than Star Wars, which is why I wouldn't direct one. And I was like, man, I got to respect that. And then
Hats
my friend
off.
freaked out and was like, but Star Wars is great. And then I cried a
Yeah,
bit.
man. I'm a big fan. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. I am a fan of Taika Waititi. I like the What We Do in the Shadows TV show. I like the Reservation Dogs, and I like the Jojo Rabbit. Great. And then now he's doing Thor, and now Thor: Love and Thunder, and next he's doing Star Wars. So I think
Dude,
GG.
Thor Ragnarok is a fucking awful movie, and Thor Love and Thunder is a fucking awful movie.
Oh,
And
did you
I
watch
get in
that? I haven't seen it
I
yet.
fucking hated. They are so dumb. Like it's just like the issue is it's not Thor. The Marvel movies aren't bad movies. They're not awful movies. They're in the middle, and what they're doing is they're just trying not to get a negative reaction from anyone. They're just trying to be good for everyone and be like okay. Like they're not trying. Cause my like, and you know the Munsters 2022 has the most philosophical fucking debate about art on the EchoVideo podcast for some reason. But my philosophy of art is that in order for it to be good, you have to offend somebody, and that's with all art, comedy, movie, like painting, sculpting, anything. You have to offend somebody for that art to work. And I think even a negative reaction, like Dahmer getting negative reaction from people, like Dahmer getting a negative reaction from people, that means the art is working and is good because you're getting such a negative reaction from a certain amount of people. Like that's for everything though. If this group doesn't like that, that's a reaction. You want reaction to your art. You don't want it to just be good for everyone. You don't want everyone to see it and go, it was okay. That's fucking forgettable, man.
I was just gonna
That's a
say, yeah, forgettable.
all the Oscar winners of the past fucking decade are those types of movies. Like fucking
Ah, I don't
Green
know.
Room?
Okay,
No, what the
Green
not
Book.
Green Room. Green
Green,
Book, dude.
yeah,
That movie fucking sucks. Like
that did not deserve a Best Picture win.
no,
And the
dude.
fucking
Spotlight. Do you remember the plot of Spotlight?
yes,
And okay, that's fair because me, you, and Bryce always dick around and joke about it. But there's no way you can say that Spotlight was the best movie of that year. That movie was just like the okay vote of the year. Like, you can't say you liked Spotlight more than you liked The Revenant.
Oh yeah, I forgot we had The Revenant coming out.
And
No,
Mad
in
Max
terms of
Fury
like,
Road, dude, you can't say that. That movie, like, Spotlight was fucking boring, dude.
in terms of filmmaking, yeah, it would have been a good documentary series.
Dude,
I like Spotlight, but that's because I'm a really big sucker for like those heavy
those types of
dialogue
stories.
dramas. But
That's fair. I just think, like,
but in terms of like actual, I don't know, man. That's a hard debate.
dude, I mean, I think that sports are art. So, and I get yelled at for that, but I think that in order for art to work, you need to offend somebody. Like puns. Puns are offending language, believe it or not.
Bum,
Funny
bum.
faces, making funny faces, that's offending funny looking people, man. That's what fucking art is. It's offending people. It's offending it's whatever, man. That's a reaction though. Like Funny Games, I watched Funny Games. When I finished that movie, I was fucking pissed off and I wanted to go beat the shit out of the filmmaker. And then now that I think back on it, I'm like, that's probably what he was trying to the reaction he was trying to get out of people. And that's why I respect Funny Games. Cannibal Holocaust is one of my favorite films of all times because I respect the guy that did it, because I can guarantee you he was like, I want to make a movie that's going to piss the fucking people off. And he did it. And I love that movie for that reason.
It's fair,
Which we will.
honestly, because at least you're definitely there's more engagement than just like, I don't know. I wouldn't really say passive absorption. Depends how you're watching it, but like, if it kind of stirs a couple bones and you get people talking about it, I totally get that.
Yeah. I kind of went off there. That's my bad.
No. It was good. It was a good discussion. Well, it
The
wasn't really
Munsters
discussion, but yeah.
episode of EchoVideo Pod has the deepest conversation about art.
It's
And
the
again,
secret philosophy.
I'm not a
video.
fucking artist. I mean, I've made a movie. It's fucking awful. It's on YouTube. I don't really want to plug it because it isn't off. Like, I'm not really proud of it. I'm happy with what everyone did in it. I'm not happy with myself and what I did with it. Everyone that worked on it was amazing. I was not. That's why I'm unhappy with it. To make that perfectly clear. But no, I'm just, yeah. So, anyways, back to the Munsters. I mean, I don't really have a lot to say. I mean, I kind of went off in the beginning about my overall opinion of it. I don't
kind of
want
the end.
it's really not a movie to be spoiled. I find this is a perfect movie to put on Halloween night.
It's a great, like, if you, it's like What a Wonderful World, right? Or is that it? Is that like, it's like that kind of Christmas movie, but for
I think
Wonderful
it's
Life.
A
Wonderful Life.
But,
It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's like that kind of movie, or like The Wizard of Oz. It's just like a fun little get you in the mood, get you.
Yeah, like
fun,
okay,
right?
not The Wizard of Oz in quality standpoints,
No,
but
not in quality.
no, like I find it like on Halloween I always found we'd put a movie on as background noise because we would always be waiting for trick-or-treaters to come, and that movie would always never really be paid full attention to. And I think we did it with horror movies, and we had complaints from parents saying like you shouldn't be watching that when little kids are coming because they could see the movie, and it was like fucking dude getting his head chopped off, and a little kid in a butterfly costume comes up and sees that, and they're like crying.
Oh shit, they ruined.
I feel like it's that kind of movie, it's the movie you put on Halloween night. It's in the background, you're handing out Halloween candy the whole night, and it's just kind of that unoffensive Halloween movie. I honestly liked it. I think people should go watch it. Don't listen to the fucking critics, man, on this one, in my opinion. Don't listen to the critics.
Yeah, we've had that with the last couple, haven't we? We've really been at odds with the critics.
I stand by that, like, especially nowadays, maybe back in older episodes of EchoVideo, I say stand with the critics. Never stand with the critics. From this, like, I will never stand with the critics from this point on. When I saw the trailer for Woman King, when it said audience score and it promoted the audience score as a selling point of that movie, I was like, so the critics don't mean anything to the trailers anymore.
Yeah, no, it's
That's
just
what I got
marketing.
from that.
Yeah, you could have just gone on YouTube, scraped a few comments, and be like, "Oh yeah, these people like it," and then fucking put that on the Blu-ray box.
Yeah, next thing you're gonna get these like faceless YouTube comments. I think it looks good. To be like, Jonathan666 says this movie looks good in the like that's what's going to happen.
Film perfection.
That's what's gonna fucking happen, man.
Oh, sheesh.
All right, I've gone off. I've kind of taken up the majority of the dialogue in this episode. Is there anything you want to say about the Munsters or anything else in particular?
Shoot, man. No, but I'm happy I was here for the discussion. This was a nice dialogue we've had, I think.
I think so too. I think that's gonna wrap it up. I mean, I kind of finished. I mean, I guess we did kind of final thoughts, but final thoughts for me, really quick. Watch it. Worth your time, in my opinion. Have an open mind. Don't listen to the critics. Watch the movie. I think you'll be mildly entertained. Bart, what's your final opinion?
Honestly, about that, I looked at the critic score beforehand mistakenly because I was looking at where to buy it. So yeah, I kind of went into it not really wanting to spend the money on it, but then got it, and it was honestly a really fun time and a really good time with it, and it really surprised me, and it's just a good time. And for next week, we have something much scarier and gorier.
Next week,
we are continuing the Clive Barker saga.
Clive Barker saga, Hellraiser 2022. When does that release? Is that released
October
today?
7th, tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay. So yeah, Hellraiser 2022. Do you know who's directing it by chance?
Off the top of my head, no, but it's the VHS guy.
Okay, the director of VHS. I mean, I've stayed clear. The most recent trailer, I can't remember if we discussed it.
Yeah, we discussed it briefly, I think. David Bruckner.
I think last week I think from what I can remember, I was a little disappointed that it was more looking like a slasher film than it was kind of the erotic kind of horror film it originally was. But I'm gonna go into it with an open mind. I'm avoiding the critics like I always do. Unfortunately, some of the stuff slips through the cracks, but I'm looking forward to it. So we're talking about Hellraiser 2022 next week. Oh my God. Okay, sorry. Any closing thoughts that you have, Bart?
Closing thoughts. I'm a very happy Halloween. I don't know. I'm a very boring podcast guy this week. I apologize. I haven't been able to contribute as much, but no.
It's all good. I had a lot to say.
Happy October.
Alrighty. That is going to do it for this episode of EchoVideo Podcast. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next week.